the game a little bit more. What do you feel like were the major issues that went wrong for you guys in that one?
I think the biggest problem is at the moment is be able to be in sync, be able to put the effort through the entire match. I think we're working on it. The guys understand what we need to do. And of course, these are not the results that we wanted to see at the beginning of the season, but this transition is time in order to be able to get us to where we need to be.
In terms of the transition and getting the team in sync, you have obviously a style of play you're trying to get the team to use, high press, some other aspects as well. How much do you, when you've had these type of results, how much do you stick to that style and just keep working through it, and how much do you potentially look at reevaluating that?
No, we always reevaluate every single game just to see how we can do something better, and that's what we're doing in order to see what is the right combination and what is the next step for the next match. But everything is a lot better when we build with a united group that is pushing the same direction, and that's what we're going to start seeing going forward.
And you mentioned it now and after the game in terms of the effort and the club giving up towards the end. Why do you feel like that happened, that you didn't see the effort you wanted to out of the group?
No, it's not something that I didn't see the effort from the group in regards to what happened at the end. It's just moments of the transition sometimes that players could get frustrated and then things don't work out the way we expect. So we just need to be better to understand, to be patient, and that's the most important part.
When you have a game where you have maybe the team kind of gives up towards the end, how much do you look at the leadership of the players on the field, your captain, and look at maybe what needs to be changed there?
No. There's no find the things that are not there. I think right now the important part is that we have a great group. We have a group that there's good players that are leaders. And right now it's just making sure that we all push the same direction, and that's what we are, looking into doing for the future.
Was it good to have a little extra time then maybe to prepare for the next game, to kind of put everything kind of back together that way and evaluate that way? Or would you rather get right back out there?
No. It's good to have these 2 weeks to be able to work because last week we only had 1 day to work. In between Galaxy and Red Bull, the reality is that even though we had our deals clear for the match, we had only 1 game to practice, and to focus on the game. It's good to having these 2 weeks for ourselves to be able to prepare for Dallas. But I have no doubt that the group is going to give what it needs to give in the next few matches.
You made one of the line decisions you made in New York was to start Armenteros, and Audi was on the bench. Can you talk about why you made that decision?
Yeah, you've seen that everybody's getting opportunity to play, and that's important. Everybody get a step on the field and be able to show a little bit what they're capable of bringing, and that way everybody's on the same page, because everybody in this team is important. In these 2 matches, I think we play a lot of players in order for them to see what this league is all about, for the players that have been here for a while to have the opportunity to be able to compete, and that's the most important part.
And you made the decision to have Victor Arboleda be the first player off the bench for Armenteros. Can you talk about that decision?
Yeah, no, the decision was because in that side we had a lot of space, and we felt that we needed a little more speed. And that's what Victor, is able to give us. But I think it's important for him to have had the opportunity. He's been doing very well in preseason, in practices, and I think he was the right player to come in at that moment and be able to give us something that we expected. Unfortunately, it didn't work out the best possible way, but the idea was to be able to put somebody that could give us speed on that side and be able to break things down.
With the 4 lineup changes from the game 1 to game 2, it does seem like you're still making decisions on what your starting lineup's going to look like, and that could still change over time?
Yeah, the starting lineup will be the team that is going to be able to perform the best, and that's the one that is going to stick.
In terms of the style you're looking at, in terms of one thing you've done that I mentioned was the high press, I mean, how Do you think that's something that you think will get better over time, or how have you felt that has worked in terms of you implementing in the last 2 games?
Yeah, I think if you see last match, we changed a little bit, and there were moments in which we waited for them, so it wasn't always high pressure. So I think it's important for us to be on the same page in every game, and I think for the most part there were a lot of good things. Unfortunately, the score only reflect what we did after the second goal, but I think we had our chances. We could have brought a different result. We just need to be better collectively in order to be able to achieve what we need to achieve. But there's a lot of good things to take out of it, but also there's a lot of things that we need to improve.
And I'm not sure how specifically you will answer this, but in terms of just formation and lineup and style that you're looking at going into Dallas, what are some of the things that you're considering?
No, there's 2 weeks still to work. So right now we have to work on what we need to fix first, which we already spoken about it this morning. And practice today was probably the best practice we have had so far.
Coach, when you have a team that there's really nobody really standing out at this point as far as their individual performances, does that make it more difficult to try to identify where the breakdowns are coming when kind of the relationships between players seems like they haven't really developed yet?
No. We have identified exactly what we need to work on.
Mm-hmm.
We've been working in some things which I think they are better, even though they look worse. I see a lot of improvement in many areas. But at the moment it's something different that we expect that I think the guys are going to be able to give, and I'm very, very optimistic about what is coming in the future.
One thing I looked at this weekend was Valerie. Compared to last year, it looks like he, over these first 2 games, is getting the ball in deeper spots on the field than he was towards the end of last year. How much of that is a concern for you, the idea of trying to get Diego the ball in places where he can be dangerous?
Yes, that's something that we're working on. This is, as I said, a transition. He will find the right spaces, that he needs to find. But at the moment, he's eager to get the ball, so that's why he's dropping to find the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Because our fluidity sometimes is not ideal in regards to the way we want to play. Also, I haven't brought that many changes. Just there are simple things that we need to do.
Yeah.
But I have no doubt that with this group, we're going to be able to get there.
I mean, that is something where even going back to preseason, when the games were bad, they were like 60 minutes of good and 30 minutes of bad. How do you balance maintaining the good while really attacking those bad stretches?
We practice like today, in which everybody's involved, everybody's 100%, that the attitude in general is always positive,
mm-hmm.
And that everybody's working for each other. If we put that, everything else will come.
And you would say the attitude was good today? You got a good response from
Fantastic
the players?
today. Fantastic. Thank you.